And now here at St. Brigid's Church in Amherst, parishioners held a week-long series of events earlier this fall to commemorate the 100th year of this beautiful house of worship. Steve Kiltonic reports now on this centennial milestone, which includes a name change, a statue resurrected from the deep, and the addition of some beloved lost paintings that came to mark this very special year.
On September 27th, a Mass was held at St. Brigid's in commemoration of the church's dedication a century ago. Springfield Bishop William Byrne concelebrated the Mass with the parish's pastor, Father Valentine Nwora, the former pastor, Father Gary Daly, Father Henry Dorsch, and Father Kevin Ewagigwe.
For 100 years, this sacred house of God has stood as a beacon of faith, hope, and love in our community.
The Mass was the culmination of the parish's 9-day series of events held in celebration of the 100-year anniversary. It started September 19th when parishioners viewed the St. Carlo Acutis Eucharistic Miracles exhibition in the Monsignor Lane Pastoral Center. It continued with a concert featuring the diocesan singing priests and a second concert which dedicated the church's new organ. Originally named St. Brigid after the Swedish saint, the parish began in 1871 with the construction of the first church on Pleasant Street. After 50 years, the parish outgrew the old wooden church, and in 1919, Springfield Bishop Thomas O'Leary purchased 2 lots on North Pleasant Street and Cowles Lane for the site of the new church. The cornerstone was laid in 1923, and 2 years later, when the new church opened, it received a new name.
They decided to change the name to Brigid of Kildare from Ireland. And most likely that was because the largest part of the congregation was Irish themselves.
The dedication took place on September 27, 1925, by Bishop O'Leary, whose coat of arms is directly above the church's main entrance doors. Designed by renowned diocesan architect John Donahue of Springfield, St. Brigid was modeled on an architectural style pioneered during the Italian Renaissance. The interior is spectacular, dominated by 22 stained glass windows which surround the church, created by Franz Meyer of Germany. 11 large windows depict in chronological order important events from the lives of Jesus and Mary.
It's just such outstanding level of attention to detail on the windows in every aspect. Little flowers on the greenery that's in front of Jesus when he's talking to the children.
In 1992, the Flight to Egypt window was made into a commemorative Christmas plate by the U.S. Historical Society. Behind the new organ is a large circular rose window, a characteristic of the Gothic revival of the 19th century. The painting of the crucifixion behind the altar is original to the church. On either side of the altar are 2 marble statues. One is Joseph holding the baby Jesus.
The statue of Mary was actually originally meant for a church in Boston. It was sent over from Italy to Boston on a ship that sank near Bermuda, but they were able to rescue her from the depths and bring her up.
In the old baptismal shrine area is the Immaculate Conception of Mary's statue of painted wood, created by a Spanish sculptor. The statue was exhibited during the 1915 Panama Pacific International Exposition in San Francisco. Early in the centenary planning stages, Father Valentine discovered that the 7 sacrament paintings over the chancel arch were lost, painted over during renovations in 1993.
To see how beautiful it was when it was still there in 1925, and that inspired me to think and discuss with the committee and to figure out how we could bring it back, restore it.
Jeremiah Patterson, a former parishioner and artist, was commissioned to paint 7 new sacrament paintings.
He remembered when they were up there as an altar server when he was a little boy, and that made it really, really easier for him to repaint them, and we put them back up there.
During the Mass, a ceremony was held as Bishop Byrne blessed and dedicated the paintings for the congregation. Father Valentine, whose aunt designed the anniversary logo, believes it's important to have a church filled with sacred art and sacred images.
They are all created and made to inspire, to teach.
Planning for the anniversary began last January for the week leading up to the Mass, when various events were held to commemorate the dedication. First was the St. Carlo Acutis Eucharistic Miracles exhibit. Several first-class relics of the saint were on display. The night before the Mass, the singing priests with Father Valentine came to town for the first time, led by Father Francis Riley. The group kept the audience entertained with a variety of songs, including sacred ballads.
Then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art.
As well as classic tunes from the 1960s.
Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please help me?
Father Valentine incorporated his own heritage with a famous liturgical hymn from Nigeria.
I rejoiced when I heard them say, "Let us go into the Lord's house," drawing from the psalm. Majority of them didn't understand what we sang, but I could see the joy, the happiness, written all over them.
After the Mass, at the reception, lots of St. Brigid swag was available, including a comprehensive church anniversary book written by Rath. The celebration concluded the day after Mass, when a centenary concert was held to dedicate the new organ. Parish organist Klaus Becker played various classical selections. With the anniversary finally over, Father Valentine is relieved that he can get back to business as usual.
Thank God, because in the next 100 years, I will no longer be here. But I thank God that now we are done. We've celebrated this, and we look forward to the future with hope and joy.
Father Valentine and parishioners now embark on a new journey together, opening the first chapter of the church's next centennial. For Real to Real, I'm Steve Kiltonick.
Congratulations to all here at St. Brigid's. It is such a beautiful church with such a rich heritage.